peeking into yellow, so it's not too bad. Now we just got to make sure the game volume's good. And we're all set. And we got the fan on the Xbox as well. Whoa. That's good. Game volume, game volume, game volume, please. I'm not going to know too much until we go in. Someone come out the pit so I can test the game volume, fellas. We'll start at like 30. Yeah. Minus 30. My volume's decent. Peeking into... Whoa. Nope, I'm not peeking into red. Whoa. Nope. We're fine. It looks overcast in Spain. I wish it was overcast here. Alright. Cars coming out. So let's test this volume. Yeah, we can go a little bit lower. Yeah, like minus 34, that works. Okay. Yeah, that works. That's not too terrible. Alright. Okay. People watching this live on replay, if you're live, well, you know how absolutely sweltering it is here. Yeah, okay, that's... Volume's good. Wasn't getting anything in my headphones there for a minute. It's strange. Okay. Yeah, as long as you're good, it doesn't matter if I got volume or not. Fellas, if you're watching live, God bless you for being here tonight, because the hottest day of the year so far, it is not pleasant. This is the opposite of pleasant. This is hell on earth in terms of us here in the UK. Sergio not with us tonight, so you haven't got the analysis that you usually would have, but I will do my best for you, but I can't promise too much. Kayla, good evening. I would kill for your air conditioning in your house at this minute in time. It is very well. I got a fan on the Xbox because I was playing my Madden League game yesterday at the similar time of evening to signify how hot it is in the room that I'm in. For the first time ever in 6 years, my Madden game midway through closed down, and then it told me that my Xbox is overheating. So I've got a fan pointed towards my Xbox because for some reason when I play F1 or I spectate F1, my console sounds like it's about to take off into space, and I've got a literal desk fan over my right shoulder which is pointed towards me. So I got a fan on the box and I got a fan on me, but it's not helping. It's a horrific time to be alive. To be fair though, I will say this: I was quite skeptical about how many people we'd have tonight in the lobby racing, but because of this heat, no one wants to do anything. No one wants to play, no one wants to stream, no one wants to do anything while it's like this. So the fact that we got 15 with maybe I think a 16th on the way after they finished their gauntlet is quite a testament to the league. So big up to Michael and big up to all the other guys that are of course racing here tonight. And of course it is still an important night, race week 7, as we approach race week 8, the penultimate, or the ultimate week next week, the finale next week over in Monaco. And of course it all comes down to maybe tonight and next week. VRL Keiran, as well as Chizzy, as well as Dom Parry, all of these guys who have still got something to race for. No Chizzy tonight. No, the Chizzy is there in 12th, excuse me. So, again, I think when you look at the guys that have something to race for, even though maybe they didn't want to race tonight, they very much are out here ready to compete. Absolutely. Should be a couple more, 3 or 4 more join-ins just playing dude, I could not imagine the worst thing in the world. I could not imagine playing 4 games of FIFA in this right now. I could not. Dude, even doing a 1 hour race is a stretch. But to be on playing like 4 games of FIFA and then an hour long race, those guys are crazy. They're lunatics, aren't they? Have them as well, Piranha. But yeah, like I said, we're going to show you the standings when we get to it. Spain tonight, though, I don't know too much about the track other than what we've seen in the past, and that is, we see, I think from what I recall, Spain in the previous seasons, a lot of penalties at points, but rarely any safety cars. It looks like it's going to be an overcast race. I mean, you can see from this angle the sky here. I don't know. You got some clouds forming. Are we going to see potential rain? Are we not? Only time will tell. But the rain in Spain would be quite something. Of course, quite a quick track, if you want to call it that, compared to last week at least. 111.9 so far for VRL Keiran. Jamsey behind him of 112.6. Only the qualifying so far. So everyone's going to kind of improve their times and increase their times as we get round more and more. And of course, when we talk about tyre strategy, it will be, you would think, the usual, the same old, the mediums into the hards, or the hards into the mediums, unless we do see some rainfall here this evening. It's a very different track compared to what the drivers have for next week waiting for them, as well as what they had last week. Remember Texas last week? Was it Texas last week or Netherlands last week? I'm going stir crazy. I can't remember. But regardless of what it was a very wide track, wasn't it? I think tonight you've got, again, a little bit of width to work with, not as wide. And then next week, it's the complete opposite. It's those tight, cautious angles of Monaco. For the league title, for the league race to maybe be decided at Monaco is going to be quite something. Thank you so much as well to Feta for the follow. Appreciate you. God bless you. Hope the fans on. Hope we're down in fluids here tonight, boys. I really do. I'm ready to pull a Logan Sargent from 2023 Qatar. There you go. What you need, Serti, is that you've missed the only wet race so far, I think, this season. I think you'd be absolutely gagging for a little bit of rain tonight, wouldn't you? Get to see the 30 intermediates. And, yeah, so it should be a fun race. The fact, like I said, I really am quite impressed and quite pleased with, again, just how many people have actually turned out tonight for this. Like I said, you got, right now it's getting cool here in the UK, but it still feels like it's like 28, 29 degrees, and you got like nearly the entire lobby here ready to show down, which is just awesome compared to some other leagues that barely get 5 or 6 people showing up. So, you guys are fucking incredible as per usual. I know I was fuming here and I missed it. It's the only thing I live for in these races. Well, to be fair, sir, when you're not trolling, you're a decent driver. It's just one of those. You know what it is? You're like the Aaron Ramsdale of F1, mate. You just don't have the focus for 40 odd minutes. That's exactly what I think it is. So, maybe that's harsh, maybe it's not. Who knows? Of course, so much stuff going on this week as well outside of the F1. If you're interested in the kind of side games we do, again, keep your ear to the ground. The VFL 5v5 2K League is starting up for Season 2 this weekend. So if you've had a basketball, get involved in that. The VFL Madden League, of course, is still very much up and underway. Both that beginner league and experience league there. The last UFC 5 card of VFL is this Thursday. Then we go on a 2-week break as we wait for UFC 6. The VFL season on the football side of things, the FIFA side of things, begins on Friday. There's never been a more active time to be involved. Even the 1v1 stuff that we do for NBA, the all-time legends draft that LSJP is doing, everything is just in full flow. So if FIFA is kind of boring you and the monotony of the kind of summer is getting to you, try one of the new games or one of the different games on the side that we have. Trust me, it's a good laugh, and it gets you involved in much more sports, and it gets you involved in different parts of the VFL community as well. It's always good fun, absolutely is. For the time being, though, listen, we can talk you through a couple of these standings, a couple of these pictures here that we've got for you in regards to the tail of the tape, so to call it, going into race week 7 tonight. Of course, we start with the Drivers' Championship, as we always do, as I'm flipping the screen, don't mind me. There we go. So, the Drivers' Championship, of course, we'll just zoom in for you in case you're blind. That should be hopefully enough. VRL Keiran, 93 points as it stands, with Chizzy just behind him on 84 points. And then, of course, you've got Louis Welch down there on 68. Louis Welch is not a full-time driver, keep in mind, so he's not here tonight unless he rocks up randomly. But the fact that he, on a part-time basis, has amassed 68 points is quite nuts. Dom Parry with 59 is here and could very much snatch third place as it stands. But the main storyline is this battle between Keiran and Chizzy. Keiran has never, ever managed to win a Drivers' Championship in VFL. He's always been too turbulent. He's always had one bad corner, one bad race, one bad sector, and he retires, he quits. He's shown a lot more maturity and a lot more mental strength this season, and that has guided him through. However, and it's a big however, Chizzy has been there, has done it. He is like the Man City of the race grid. He's like Pep Guardiola in a driving seat, isn't he? He knows all about pressure, and he knows how to win these championships. Only 9 points behind. He'll be looking at this, he'll be looking at Spain, he'll be looking at Monaco, and saying, this is mine to win. For Keiran, he just has to keep racking up the points, and he just has to keep finishing ahead of Chizzy. A race win today and a Chizzy crash out could absolutely make it impossible for Chizzy at Monaco, but so much more than meets the eye when it comes to Spain. Of course, lower on down, Sean Tiller and Shadow is going to continue to be consistent. 50 points and 49 points for the two Ferrari drivers there. Jamsey on 48, Benchwarmer on 47. A bit of a battle here between Dom Parry, Tiller, Shadow's got a Jamsey, and even Benchwarmer. And even down here, Bobby Leons, who was phenomenal in the first couple of races we saw him. Don't think he's here tonight as of now, but he's up there for one of the prospects of the season. It's been a great season. Rih23 not going to be able to build on those 15 points as he is race banned after having an explosive tirade in the drivers' lounge after last week. But yeah, it's a very, very important race. It's a very, very impressive, intense grid. I guess only time will tell who prospers tonight. And then we talk about the team championship as well. I think this one for me has got me more gripped because of how tight this has been throughout the entire season between multiple teams. The Red Bull's still leading the way with 132 points compared to Aston Martin's 115. Ferrari and Sauber, though, are right on the cusp. All it takes tonight is a Jamsey and Chizzy disaster. All it takes tonight is a Keiran and a CB46 disaster, and Ferrari and Kick Sauber are right in here. So you could say it's a top four fight. A big gap there between the Sauber and the Williams, of course. I think Ferrari and Sauber will kind of know deep down with 2 races left to Spain tonight, Monaco next week, that maybe their hopes of achieving the team championship are starting to fade. Red Bull and Aston Martin very much within points distance of one another. But never say never. We've seen strange things happen. We go back to Season 2 a couple of years back when we saw Com45 on the final stretch of a race completely slam into the wall and obliterate himself. It can happen, and it could happen to someone like Chizzy, and it could happen to someone like Keiran. It has before. But right now, Red Bull have one hand on the trophy. Aston Martin have to do their absolute best to try and disrupt that here tonight, and of course in Monaco next week. Will we see the Racing Bulls maybe get their first point of the season as well? All valid questions. All valid questions. There you go. Of course, there is the qualification screen again. 6 minutes to go here in quali in Spain tonight, and we've gained reverse 19 as well. Welcome in to him. So far, a 111.7 now is what leads the way for VRL Keiran. Dom Parry just behind him with a 112.5. They don't call VRL Keiran the quali king for no reason. If you are joining me tonight as well, wondering where that sexual voice of Sergio is, our race expert, our racing nerd. We love him here so much. He's not here tonight. The heat has killed him. It is just me, your lone presenter. So I will do my best tonight, but if you're expecting the facts and figures and analysis that maybe Sergio gets, it's a lot more amateur here tonight, so I apologise. And of course I apologise to maybe some of the guys that we're not going to get on camera. With Sergio does such a great job on getting every sort of racer covered. I can only do so much as one man with 4 eyes, but again, we'll do our absolute best for you this evening. What are you guys saying anyway? Got me water bottle hooked up to me helmet here. I mean, yeah, you're gonna need that. You're gonna need that. Oh, Tiller just retired, so Tiller happy with starting at the back of the grid. Perhaps Welch is in after VPG. He's got to be quick here. He's only got 4 minutes remaining. He may not make it in time, and we wait for no man. Absolutely. Louis also now got the full-time Williams seat. That is terrible news for every single person employed. That is horrific. Tiller's PC crashed. Awful day to be a games console. I'm telling you, mate, like I said, I had, for the first time in 6 years I've owned this Series S, I had the message of your console was overheating when I was playing Madden yesterday. I had a big fan aimed at me. I've had to literally use the big fan, sit it on the floor. It is right in front of my console, blowing air into my console, so I'm not going to crash today. And I've got a desk fan behind me. So that just shows you how absolutely sweltering it is. Full-time driver, and I ain't even there on my massive 0 points. Well, you know what, Bailey? There's no time like today to change that. Again, in these types of races, in the real-life heat, 40 minutes is a long time. People will get very, very agitated. They'll get annoyed. and maybe they'll crash out. Maybe you'll go and maybe steal a top 10 position, get some points. Who knows? Is it warm in England? Not feeling it up here. You know what? It's funny you say that, because I talked to Jack Canner, who's in Northern Ireland, and he told me that yesterday it was pretty cool up there in Northern Ireland, at least. It was only like 21 degrees, but yeah, he won't make it. Only half time with 6 to go. Well, yeah, he's going to miss it then. That's just what I'm telling you. To be sat there tonight in this sweltering heat playing 4 or 5 games of FIFA, you're a better man than me. I could not be doing that. To get home, to get on and play a warm-up at 7:30 and still not be done at 10 o'clock is just lunacy to me. But to each their own. That's what you love in this horrific heat then. Fair play to you. Fair play to you. Yeah, I don't know what part of Scotland you live in, Kemure, but yeah, hold on. I'll send you the BBC weather thing for my area, and you can see. I don't know if it's going to show the previous hours, but I'll send you this on Discord. But it's been horrific today. It's been absolutely a joke today. Look at that. I sent it to you on Discord. But even tomorrow is not ideal. 30-degree high tomorrow. Then we get like this drop of 11 degrees on Wednesday, and it's back up to 25 on Thursday. 25's not bad though, to be fair. 25's all right, but yeah, it is not great. Thank you as well, C Finch, for the prime as well. Up the Leon, we love that from you. Yes, we do. Welcome into race night, man. Hope you're keeping cool and hydrated. Please, as well, don't be stupid, yeah? Drink some water, for goodness sake. Absolutely do it. Man's got Tism on 0 points. Got to try and get my first points this time. Hey, listen, you've got a great chance tonight because of the heat and how people are so itchy to just get going. And you've also got a great chance in Monaco. Monaco, over the past kind of 2-3 years with this league, has always been a graveyard because it's just so hard to navigate. Slow and steady at Monaco next week wins you points. Absolutely. 76% humidity at 10 p.m. Liam, I'm telling you, man, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. London felt like 35 today. It's been a horror. I've been reading sorry about people coming in for race information here. We're talking about the weather. Been reading something from the Met, like the weather station, in like the national weather thing, and they're saying that there's now like a 62% chance that we're going to have a 40-degree day in July. It's not for me. Put me in an ice bath and seal me off. You know what I mean? Back from America for only 2 weeks, and wow, I missed my aircon. I'm telling you, man. I am telling you. I work at a pub kitchen. It was 46 in there. Yeah, you got to be having breaks. You can't be sitting in there for too long. You'll die. You will. But, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the hype train as well, Finch. You're absolutely top tier. Thank you so much, my friend. I'm going to sneeze. Don't mind me. But now, listen. I got to keep... oh, Jesus. It teased me. I keep saying this. Regardless of it being 16, 17, 18 people, hell of a job, hell of an effort tonight, fellas, with the grid being as good as it is. Again, we would have had 19 if Louis Welch hasn't got to play 55,000 games of FIFA, but I'm sure he'll be here in spirit. And you know what? I'm sure a lot of people on the grid will be given a little fist pump, will be given a little bit of a celebration at the fact that Louis Welch is not here, because when he's on the grid, it is a dangerous, dangerous evening. It certainly is. But for now, we are 34 seconds away. A 1:11.7 is the time to beat. And VRL Keiran is looking strong again. And look at the Kick Sauber and the Red Bull. You want to talk about consistency in a nutshell. Dom Parry, Benchwarmer, 2nd and 3rd in quali. Jamsey and Chizzy, 4th and 5th. That there is wonderful. You got and Louis Welch has got here in time. The whole crowd has started to boo. It just said Louis Welch has joined the session. I don't know if he's actually going to get in, though, or not, because he's not appearing in the tower yet. But I just saw that at the bottom of my screen that Louis Welch has joined the session. So maybe he did get in on time. But I know, I think a lot of these drivers tonight are praying that he may have just missed it. But we'll have to wait and see. Yes, we will. For now, though, fellas, of course, please do not ready up until our Lord Overlord Michael tells us to. Of course, we don't need anyone kind of jumping the gun here and getting us off too quickly. So relax, take care, and just get your setups all sorted. Okay. So yeah, sit tight, fellas. Quali just coming to an end here as well. Fantastic, fantastic. He appears. Yeah, he's there at the bottom. Well, listen, I mean, Louis Welch likes a challenge, man. So starting at the bottom of the grid may well be the challenge that he wants. But, I mean, listen. Bite your hand off to finish here in the race. I mean, I say this. I've seen people in 14 years during hot weather on FIFA, and it is where the most mistakes happen. I don't care if it's FIFA, F1, Madden, chess, hide and seek, snakes and ladders. When you're in this hot weather, this late at night, and you're playing a game which requires focus, someone is going to have a nightmare. I am telling you now, bank on it, put the house on it. If you take this slow and steady, you've got a good chance of getting points and finishing in the top 10 tonight. I am absolutely telling you. I am. Spun second to last turn, and I was positive Delta. Shaking my head. You hate to hear it. Shit, imagine being behind me, says Bailey. Love that from you, Bailey. So a lot of news going around in the world of football as well today. I know some of you are probably not even football fans, but the amount of stuff going on in Italy is insane. Maurizio Sarri changed jobs. Gattuso's back. Allegri's fired. Milan firing the whole board. What a day. I put a thing in the F1 General as well the other day about how Max Verstappen said something about how he may quit racing in F1 if something doesn't change next season. So, again, there's a lot of sports news happening now because we've hit that kind of summer period, that off-season period for a lot of the sports. So, there you go. Again, a reminder, fellas, please do not ready up until Michael tells us to go. I can repeat to you that Michael is saying that green light is at 10:06 p.m. So do not ready up until 10:06 p.m. Any news involving Italy, as long as Tonali isn't mentioned, keep it going. How are you feeling about Anthony Gordon going to Bayern Munich or whatever it is then, Bailey? Are you bothered by that? I don't know if you... Newcastle fans' opinions on Anthony Gordon, from what I see, are very mixed. Some of you like him. Some of you think he's absolutely overrated to fuck. I am in the second camp. 75 million. I drive him there myself, the rat. There you go. I guess we know what camp you're in there. So, who's Gordon replacing? I said the same thing, Skelly. I don't have a single clue who he starts over. Maybe Nabry on the bench because he's getting older. But I agree with you. It's not going to be Diaz. It's not going to be Elise. So where does he play? Are they going to put him in midfield, do some sort of weird experiment? I think it's a mind-numbingly stupid move for 75 million. Unless, of course, they know that Elise's going. There was a lot of talk and a lot of kind of thing about how Elise's got this release clause. He may go to Liverpool to be the Salah replacement. But imagine being a Bayern Munich fan and letting Elise go and then the replacement being fucking Anthony Gordon. At least it's a Newcastle straight swap. Fella, you need to get your manager out. Eddie Howe, I think that boat has sailed as well. I think his backup striker with Jackson going back. Maybe. Said Nicholas Jackson, I think he's going to play a very, very big part to Xabi Alonso's season. I'll tell you that much for free. I think that is the most Xabi Alonso striker that you could ask for, Nicholas Jackson, especially when you think about how he had Boniface moving in Leverkusen. Again, a reminder, fellas, do not ready up until 10:06 p.m. That's when lights go green here in Spain tonight. Race week 7 out of 8. With Monaco, of course, being our ultimate ending next Monday. Sunderland in Europe. I was buzzing for him, man. I was absolutely buzzing for him. Buzzing for Granit Xhaka. Buzzing for that club. It just shows you how far you're off the pace, though, Bailey. With all of that takeover talk and blah, 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 blah. It's been a disaster, man. It's been a disaster for you lot. It has. I always thought you were going to go and get Mourinho. The fact that Mourinho went back to Real Madrid, by the way. Couldn't even believe it. Couldn't even believe it. But there you go. There you go. Eddie Howe's refusal to drop. This is the thing. I've seen a lot of stuff on socials about how he hates Woltemade. Because I remember at the start of the season, Woltemade was doing absolutely brilliant. And then he just stopped getting played. And then he just, you know what I mean? He just fell out of love with him. Very strange. Very, very strange. But what can you do? All right, here we go then. It looks like we're all set and ready here. As we are good. 10:07 by my clock and we're up and away. So best of luck tonight, fellas. Let's go and see what we've got going on in this first turn. I need to move my camera. I will do after this first turn. Let's just keep our eyes peeled on the action. See, there's been some contact there, but nothing too terrible. Softs as well. Interesting. I wonder. It might not let you be controlled for a while. It's fine. Okay, so yeah, no issues there. Everyone seems to be happy with this one as it stands. Are you amazed, as I am, with how many drivers are on softs here? That is so confusing to me. When we've heard this kind of discourse for the entire season about how terrible soft tyres are, and now tonight you've got a whole range. Dom Parry, Jamsey, CB, Tism, Reverse Bailey, Ghosted, and Surtees all on softs here. We're on board with Chizzy as it stands. He is the man looking to chase down VRL Keiran. Remember, Chizzy tonight, with this race and one more to go, 9 points behind VRL Keiran in the Drivers' Championship. So there you go. Missed the start getting a fan, says Surtees. There you go. Surtees, very much one of the disadvantaged men here. Dom Parry, though, so far leading the way, and that is just a heavyweight, a juggernaut top four, isn't it? Dom Parry, VRL Keiran, Jamsey, and Chizzy. Good to see Jamsey starting strong as well. He's been on the receiving end of pretty poor starts in the past couple of races, but needs to hang on to that here tonight. Let's go down the grid and see what we've got, though. Actually, you know what? We'll stick with Jamsey for now, for a couple more turns, actually, because this top three race is actually getting very spicy, only 2 laps in. When there is maybe a little bit of a gap forming, then we'll go around and check the rest of the grid. Again, I apologise tonight for some of those guys that are usually mid-table, lower rundown. Usually Sergio does such an excellent job in keeping us updated with your race. Of course, only I'm here tonight. Sergio killed by the heat. He will be back next week for Monaco. And tonight we have to just keep our eyes on this incredible championship. Oh, look at this, Dom Parry. Something's happened there with Dom Parry. What has happened there with Dom? He is completely spun out here. Maybe those soft tyres, not the ideal decision. And he is down there at 18th now. So I didn't see what caused that. But Dom Parry absolutely sliding down the tower. So there you go. Dying for the heat to hit us. Apparently be around 23 tomorrow. I would kill for 23 degrees, Liam. Dude, I'm not joking, Liam. I got woken up today by like a warm gust of wind entering my room. It was no joke here whatsoever. At 9:30 a.m. this morning, it was 21 degrees. And at the peak here this evening, well, at the peak at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon here, it was 32 degrees, but because of humidity, it felt like 38. So, yeah, it's been a nutty one. So far, the Red Bulls, though, second and third, chasing down VRL Keiran. Makes you wonder. You don't really see this strategy of drivers with soft tyres often, do you? So, you know, usually you talk about mediums lasting anywhere from, you know, if they're kept in good conditions, from maybe about 8 laps to anywhere to like 12 or 13 laps if you're really an expert. Soft tyres, I think you're not going to get more than 5 laps out of these here if you're really pushing it, but I guess only time will tell. Jamsey they're getting overtake on his teammate. This is such an important position as well for the 2 Red Bulls. I think tonight, whether you're Chizzy or Jamsey, if you go and you slip into second, you have to expect the man in third to play blocker to you. Jamsey knows. He knows that Chizzy is on the cusp of winning this Drivers' Championship. He has to be the bigger man here tonight. And I think he and Chizzy are going to have that conversation. Chizzy's going to say, I'll take second. You have got to hold up traffic behind me and give me the best opportunity to go and win this championship. And I think Jamsey will oblige, and I think he would take a top 3. I think he'll take a podium every single day of the week. My mates have decided we'll train before the heat at 5:30 tomorrow a.m. I mean, it's still going to be quite warm then, man. Like I said, I'm a night owl. I only sleep for like 4 or 5 hours at a time. So I was up at 5 o'clock this morning and it was still 16 degrees. You know what I mean? It's not exactly bad, but you know what I mean? I'm telling you, I've always said, mate, I've got a Slavic background, Slovakian mother. I would live in the cold. If I had the chance to live in Antarctica for a month, I would do it. And I would love it. I would love every second of it. Give me freezing cold over blistering heat any day of the week. For now, listen, we've got a bit of a gap, as we said, so let's go through the rest of the tower here and see what we've got. CB46 here chasing down Benchwarm, a bit of a gap there. HDino just behind him as well. So you've got a bit of a train forming here between 4th, 5th and 6th. HDino, CB and Benchwarm, a little bit of skid there from HDino. Got to keep that grip as Shadow's Gunner has just barged on past him. Look at him, like Mark Henry spotting a free buffet there. Absolutely just crunched him, and then has fallen back behind him once again. And of course, the danger man, Louis Welch, right here in 8th position, will keep on with him. Missed quali, just got into the lobby by the skin of his teeth. and is someone that everyone knows is the driver to watch out for. Louis Welch is expected, even in 8th position this early point in the race, he is expected to at least get a podium. We have never seen Louis Welch partake in a race and not earn podium. So, there you go. I'll be up by the time the league placements are out. Yeah, well, listen, my whole thing is after this race, I'm literally getting on the hoodie and I'm going for a run. I always go for a run in the evening, so I'm probably going to give myself heat stroke by going out in long clothing. But to dare is to do and all that nonsense, eh? To dare is to poo. That's for Tricks there. Shout out to Tricks. Shout out to Jason Cundy, eh? Unbelievable. Louis Welch kind of slipping the back, a little bit back behind Shadow's Gunner, but yeah, you can see it's starting to kind of be that typical race where there's a kind of, a gap between cars, 2 seconds, half a second, 1 second here, they're everywhere. You've got a bit of a train here now forming again as Ryan Parker's also trying to catch up to HD, Louis Welch and Shadow's Gunner. But for now, I guess we'll keep our eyes on Louis Welch again as he's still battling and trying to get round this obstacle that is the Ferrari in Shadow's Gunner, who has been, again, such a revelation. The last 6 months of Shadow's Gunner in particular, just such a testament to drivers that come in and take part in these races. Shadow's Gunner was a guy that was back, in December, finishing in around 10th, 11th position, struggling. And now look at him. He's so consistent. He's constantly in the top 10. He's got a great team kind of chemistry between him and Tiller, who, of course, has not had the greatest of starts. His PC crashing during qualifying, so he's stuck in 12th. But, again, you can't really expect him to finish above Louis Welch. Louis Welch is just a freak. He is a freak in a good way. HDinho and Ryan Parker here. Now, Ryan Parker, of course, got Sergio's driver of the day last week. He was very impressed with Ryan Parker. We know about Ryan Parker, don't we? Guy's ran leagues. He's been involved in this kind of beautiful kind of setup of F1 for years and years and years. He is probably one of the most well-versed and most experienced drivers on the grid tonight. And I think, again, for him to finish in the points of HDinho would be such a massive, massive accomplishment. And as well, what we've just had there in the bottom is LR Blazerguns taking our first penalty of the night, 3 seconds for excessive, I think, track limits or excessive warnings, one or the other. Again, I said before, when we've seen Spain in previous seasons, previous years, it is a penalty-heavy track, so expect that tonight. Keep on going down here. Tiller engaging with his old FIFA rival. It's Northern Ireland versus Germany, and Tiller versus Dirty Hippo, as Tiller continues to try and find a way up, but he's the sandwich now between Hippo and Michael, who has just been overtaken by Dom Parry. Dom Parry, don't forget, in lap 2, having that disaster on those softs, skidded out, spun out, and effectively was down into 19th. So he is beginning his ascent back up the table, and right now he's in 12th position. So many guys still on soft tyres. Michael there, the first man to pit, if I'm not mistaken, as well, going on to fresh hards after 7 laps here so far. Man's got Tism here racing down with Bailey. Again, Tism and Bailey both sharing a brief exchange, a brief kind of moment saying we've both not got points. I want to finish on points tonight. And again, Slow and Steady will win this race in terms of the race for points. They both want to go and get one singular point on the board. Can they do it? I'm certainly rooting for them. Surtees, of course, everyone's favourite meme, everyone's favourite novelty player, novelty driver. Not on intermediates today, but seems to be doing good enough on the softs. I mean, fair play to these drivers down there. The Baileys, the Tisms, the Surtees, the Ghosteds. No real issues down here so far. And you've even got, like I said, you've got a little bit of a battle here as well. Look at this, between Tism, Surtees and Bailey also. So everyone's keeping it nice and tight. Whereas reverse here is just honestly having a Sunday stroll. Not the worst thing in the world, is it? All right, back up the grid we go then. CB46 is on man to watch as he is chasing on down Louis Welch, trying to get that overtake. Not going to happen. Jamsey as well, just pitting there, going on to fresh mediums. You would have to think, though, fellas, that these softs, the CB46s, the Dom Parrys, the Baileys, they're going to need to start thinking about pitting soon, because those softs are going to turn into smoke and ash the longer that you stay out there. So, one of those. How confident are you, I suppose? For now, though, as a big pile of smoke hits CB46 in the face. Keeps on going. How did you find the Canadian Grand Prix as well, fellas? I know that was on yesterday night. How did that go? Talk to me. Were you impressed? Were you unimpressed? I know some of you will be racing at this minute in time, so by no means don't take your hands off the wheel and steer into a wall to give me an answer. But again, I caught a little bit of it, but still haven't managed to kind of sit through an entire F1 session in real time. I will do it one day, but the title celebrations with Arsenal just happened to be too giddy. What can I say? Going down to Ryan Parker again, who is, of course, trying to overtake his teammate Hdinho. Tiller right behind him as well. Interesting enough, Louis Welch there on 7-lap-old mediums is opting to pit, which is quite shocking considering that the guys on softs like CP46, like Dom Parry, still haven't decided to do the same. Bailey is the first softie that is deciding here tonight that that's enough. Will he go into fresh mediums or hards, I guess, is the question for Bailey in 16th as it stands. And the answer is going to be what from the Geordie Scotsman? Mediums it is. There you go. Hards as well for Louis Welch, who will restart on re-entry in 14th position as things stand. Nearly approaching about a third of the race down already. I have to say again, I have to commend you lot tonight on the grid because it has been very clean. Only the 2 penalties, Michael joining Blazer Guns in that penalty list there. But everyone's kept it very, very professional here tonight. I will say that. Not really too much of that kind of bumping and grinding, any of that hanky-panky that we usually see on the first sector of lap 1. And it's been a good night. And as well, thanks to all the guys watching it tonight, 32 of you, which is, again, a really strong number for F1. I hope maybe you're not, you know, watching this too bored in the summer heat, but if you are, keep your attention because it's just about to get interesting because more of the top drivers have pitted. CB, Shadow's Gunner, and CB, Hdinho and Shadow's Gunner have all pitted. I'm amazed that Dom Parry is continuing to stay out there. 9-lap-old softs. I'll be honest here, fellas. 9-lap-old softs. Dom Parry may end up getting a puncture. I don't want to, you know, jinx it here, but you do not often see guys like Dom Parry pick softs, let alone go out there for 9 laps with them on. So I hope he knows what he's doing. He's a veteran. You know, you think about Dom Parry, years past, he's been so phenomenal. Tonight, though, I don't know. He's got to make a believer out of me again because I just think that's a very, very, very brave decision, stupid decision to kind of have those softs on for that long, especially when you think as well, does he have damage? I don't know if you can tell viewers watching if he's kind of having difficulty turning or not, because he did have a big incident in the second lap, don't forget. Spun out, went all the way from 4th down to 19th. He's done such an exceptional job getting back up to 7th position, in fairness to him. But for now, he's in the kind of middle of nowhere. Look at that. No one in front of him, no one behind him. This is destitute. You're in the Sahara Desert of the track. Absolutely you are. As I think, is there a safety car out here? There is. So a virtual safety car, I think, because everyone has slowed down. Where has that come from? I wonder. 10-second penalty for Dirty Hippo speeding in the pit lane. Marcel, I love you big lovable German rogue, but at this point, you're experienced enough. You should not be getting caught out by speeding in the pit lane penalties. That is a silly one to take. So for now, I'm pretty certain it's a virtual safety car. No one really has an idea. No, it's an actual safety car as well, it seems like. So no one knows what that has come from, unless we can scroll through and see, but it will give everyone the chance to effectively kind of pit and do what they need to do. You can see Man's got Tism there also joining in on the pits. It's good news for Benchwarm and Ryan Parker, though. He can kind of catch up to VRL Keiran and see from there. Surtees holding his hands up, apologising to the drivers in front of him and behind him and saying it may have came from me. So Surtees there on 10-lap-old softs. Did he have an incident? He may well have done. Again, if I'm, no offence to Surtees here, of course, but if I'm doubting Dom Parry on 10-lap-old softs, I do not want to know what the clown car that Surtees in will look like on 10-lap-old softs. That would be quite the spectacle, wouldn't it? For now, though, 12 laps down out of 33 tonight, over a third of the way done. Reminder for those of you coming in, this race and next race, the final 2 races of Season 4 for VFL F1 in F1 25. Then we're waiting for the new download pack, the update pack to come in, and then we'll be resuming again. But as of now, before tonight commenced, VRL Keiran, top of the Drivers' Championship by 9 measly points ahead of Chizzy. And as you can see, Chizzy right now in 12th, so nowhere to be seen in comparison to Keiran. So for now, 1/3 of the race down, and Kieran's loving what he's seeing. Kieran's loving life, so just got to keep this one going. And what an achievement it would be for Keiran to win this race today when he's got Tiller in the lobby, Louis Welch in the lobby, Chizzy in the lobby, Dom Parry in the lobby. You want to win these types of races with the best drivers available because it gives you more bragging rights, and that's exactly what Keiran will have today, should he do it. Absolutely, absolutely. For now, though, we just kind of effectively resume action here. It seems like Keiran's going at a moderately decent speed, so I think we're back under race conditions. Everyone is now absolutely putting their pedal to the metal again. We'll stick with Ryan Parker, though. Again, a good little battle up here as I say that, and then commentator's curse smashes into me as Tiller just takes a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits, so that isn't ideal. Ryan Parker, though, in a great position. He's got 12 lap-old hards, yes, but he can make those 12 lap-old hards last another couple of laps. I think if Ryan Parker is careful enough, is tentative enough, he can stay out here until maybe about lap 16 or 17, and then maybe switch over. It just depends if there is a need, a necessity to switch compound. Will he be able to go out on hards again, fresh hards again? Only time will tell. Keep going through the grid for you and see what we've got going on. Further on in the middle of the pile, a bit of a battle here between CB46 and the German Marcel, but CB46 right now is in a McLaren sandwich. Hippo in front of him, Michael behind him. Both of the McLarens, though, of course, on penalties. It was a difficult week for the McLaren last week as well. They were in that graveyard of retirements over in Texas or Holland, wherever we were. My amnesia, my dementia has hit me, but it was a pile of death, wasn't it? It wasn't really death. People retiring in the pits due to the difficulty of the track. I think it was Texas now that I think about it more and more. But yeah, they're looking to a bounce back. And right now, the McLaren, yes, a couple of penalties for the team, but they're in the top 10. If they can both finish in the points today, they would be ecstatic. However, don't sleep on Shadow's Gunner, as I keep on saying, in the Ferrari, and also Chizzy in the Red Bull. Incredibly surprised at Chizzy here, though. 14 laps down, you would think he would be a little bit more higher in the tower than 11th. Same with Dom Parry, despite having that terrible start. Usually see this battle between Dom Parry and Chizzy happen in the top 3, let alone to get into the points. So just goes to show you, any given Monday, any given race day, any given track, disasters and surprise results can happen. Down here further on, of course, we've got a little bit of an overtake here from Bailey as Surtees just falls behind the Scottish Geordie. Surtees still pushing those softs into oblivion. You can see already, just take a look at the tyre of Surtees there. Look at that grain that is starting to appear on the tyre. Now even more so because he's got stones in there, but look at that. He is not going to be able to stay out on those tyres for too much longer. Those are on the verge of exploding. And as Mikel Arteta once said, it's about to go bang. And I don't mean in a good way. He needs to pit. He needs to get some fresh tyres on ASAP. But now, of course, Ghosted as well, chasing down Blazer Guns there. As a pit has happened for Bench Warmer. So 14 lap on mediums is where he says it's time to pit. He's got a puncture, I believe. Already, you can see it. Let's look at that. I mean, the tyre, the left tyre looks a little bit wobbly, doesn't it? You can see that now that you've mentioned it. Maybe that's just a placebo effect. But yeah, you can see it. Yeah, you can see the little hole. You can see the little hole. You can. That's a great spot from you, Craig. You can see that little black hole when he drives a certain way. So he has a puncture. Is he going to be able to get to the pits is the question. This is going to be quite the task for Surtees, who, of course, as we said, he's just going to skip the pits. Okay, he says puncture, no problem for me. As he will try and run these into the ground. I don't know what he's doing, but God bless him, I suppose. For now, Ryan Parker right back up here in top 3. Again, Ryan Parker absolutely loving life. 15 laps in, half of the race nearly effectively down, and Ryan Parker will be rubbing his eyes and saying, am I in a dream? Am I standing in a real reality here? I'm up there with Tiller and VRL Keiran competing for a top spot. Tiller as well has just gone in after those 14 lap old mediums have become surplus to requirements. Keiran has also gone in and is now on fresh hards also. So at some point Ryan Parker's going to have to pit. At some point Ryan Parker will lose this lead, but for now, 16 laps down out of 33, Ryan Parker can call himself the leader here tonight, which is huge considering all of his experience across the various F1 titles that he's been with us and in his own league. So congratulations to him. Can he hang on to this position though? is the big question. Keep it on going down the grid once more. Dirty Hippo and CB46. It just feels like these two have been in each other's faces all night tonight. There's been a battle for the ages between the McLaren and the Aston Martin. And of course, don't forget the Aston Martin are firmly locked into that team constructors race. That's a bit of a poor one there from Dirty Hippo, in fairness. Don't think you can blame anyone but himself for that one. And it's just kind of slid down the tower now, and it's now very much behind a whole heap of cars. We'll stick with this kind of pack here, but we'll stick on with Dom Parry, who is chasing down Chizzy. Both of these two wanting to get further up than 10th tonight. Chizzy needs to. As we said, Chizzy 9 points behind VRL Keiran before this evening. Keiran finishes 3rd, and Chizzy can't finish any higher than 9th. Are we doing a Declan Rice? Are we saying that it's done, or is it not done? Only time will decide that one. But yeah, strange one from Dom and Chizzy. And of course, the whole season we've said this, but it's a strange one from Tiller. Yes, of course, he had his PC crash during qualifying, but such a top driver on his day. Has the grid gotten better, or is this old man maybe getting worse and his reactions are starting to fade into irrelevancy? Right now, he's in 13th. This would be one of Tiller's lowest, if not his lowest, finish in a VFL F1 race, if that is to remain the same here tonight. Man's got Tism, Bailey, Blazer Guns, Ghosted, Reverse and Surtees all down here. Surtees still managing to keep alive here despite that front left tyre being in worse shape than the Greek economy. I'll tell you that much. That is absolutely cooked to ever-living fuck, that front left. God bless him. He's going to need the might of 1,000 men to get him over the line this evening. For now, the VRL Keiran back very much into 3rd position after that pit. Fresh hards, only 1 lap in them, and is now looking to try and kind of overtake on Jamsey in the Red Bull. Again, don't forget, such a tense race between the Aston Martin and the Red Bull as well. Bottom left side tyres have been gone. Well, there you go. So Surtees letting us know that he's effectively Fred Flintstoning his way to the pits here. The penalties are starting to rain here, which again doesn't surprise me considering the history of this track. 3 seconds for Michael, 10 seconds for his German teammate Marcel, Dirty Hippo, 3 for Tiller, 3 for Manscott-Tism, 6 for Blazer Guns, and 3 for Reverse 91. 18 laps down, 15 more to go. More than halfway done here in Spain tonight, but there's still some twists in the storyline to come. I think the big one will be how much longer does Ryan Parker stay out there for? How much longer does Jamsey stay out there for with 10 lap-old mediums as well? For now, going through the grid here, Shadows Gunner and Chizzy embroiled in a bit of a battle. As this one is just going to be back and forth now. Chizzy, they're doing a great job there on the outside to just squeeze past Shadows Gunner. That's the only way you get that kind of overtake is by being a seasoned vet. That's exactly what Chizzy is. That's why he is one of the greatest of all time. So many VFL championships underneath him. And that's a huge one for Louis Welch, by the way. The great invincible Louis Welch with a 3-second time penalty. With that in hand, though, Ryan Parker has just pit. Those 18 lap-old hards have seemed to be put into the bin. And he will now come out and what I imagine will be mediums. Yep, there we are. Fresh mediums from Ryan Parker. How long can Surtees stay out there is the question for me, says Craig. Craig, the one thing that we know about Surtees is that he's absolutely batshit crazy. He must have hit a wall or two in his time because his brain is scrambled more than your breakfast egg, mate. I don't know what he's doing or how he's going to manage to pull this off, but his car can't be too far away from combusting into a ball of fire, is what I would say to you. For now, though, Shadow's going to trying to avoid making too much contact with Dom Parry. Can't avoid that, though. Got a better view from Michael's car, but it's been this kind of battle between Chizzy, Shadows Gunner, and Dom Parry. But it's just so strange because we're seeing it in 6th, 7th, and 8th position. Right now, you can see again for VRL Keiran, pitted on fresh hards, absolutely nothing behind him, just clean air. This is what the current leader of the championship race wants to see. Nothing behind him, nothing in front of him, just nice, easy, leisurely driving. And I think right now Kieran's in such a good position, I don't see him losing grip on first place. I like Louis Welch, yes, but I think that 3-second time penalty, I think Keiran will now know that. He'll smell that that's very much on the board, and he'll be confident about keeping a lead against Louis Welch, who again will still probably have to pit. Louis Welch is not going to be able to keep those hards out there for another 13 laps, considering that already 11 laps in. 24 laps on hards would be quite something. I just can't see it. I personally can't. Jamsey, of course, there looking to very much keep his patience, because again, Louis Welch does have that 3-second time penalty. He doesn't even need to kind of overtake Louis, and he'll still finish above him in the grid. So he's just got to keep it slow and steady. The bench warmer, oh, nothing in front of him, but one car behind him in CB46. Chizzy now very much overtaking the ghost car, which I believe is 30 at this point. But Shadow's Gunner chasing down the Ferrari. Dom Parry, of course, in the sandwich between Shadow's Gunner and Tiller. Tiller back on board with him, looking to maybe try and get that right side overtake, but easier said than done. Welsh will have to pit around lap 26. The thing is, though, again, Craig, just like Surtees, but in a more positive way, Louis Welch is a beast, bro. He is someone that it wouldn't surprise me if Louis Welch stayed out on those hards for the entirety of the race and somehow made it work. You know, I've seen Louis Welch do some incredible things on the racetrack before. It wouldn't massively shock me. It really wouldn't. A pit here, though, from Jamsey, who says that he will finish his race tonight on fresh medium. So Jamsey there now is going to have to rely on 12-lap-old mediums to get him over the finish line. He will not pit again. Can't see that being the case unless, of course, a safety car happens. And I think we're guaranteed a safety car at some point, boys, because, again, as we keep alluding to, Surtees, who stays out there on 18-lap-old softs, who has got this puncture, yeah, I just don't look at that front left tyre, man. When he stops ghosting here, just look how look at this. It is absolutely fried here. It is. I never had the pleasure of racing with him during my racing time at VFL, but 26 will be pushing it. I'm telling you, he's a machine, bro. He is. He is absolutely insane with his car control, with his lap control. You scratch your head and think, what the hell is Louis Welch doing? And then he makes a believer out of you. So, just, I wouldn't bank the house on it just yet. Over here, though, H-Dino looking to take some points home, while in front of him, Shadow's Gunner and Ryan Parker continuing to joust for 8th position. And Shadow's Gunner, interestingly, on 11-lap-old hards, is pitting. So that smells to me like he's going to try and finish the race on some fresh mediums here tonight. We'll just stick with it and see what the pit crew's going to do here. And no, fresh hards. That is very confusing. I can't lie. Because 11-lap-old hards, it seems like they were fine, but maybe wanted to avoid having to go in again. I don't know. Mediums felt like the right decision for me. But again, I'm not a driver. I'm just a commentator. So one of those. For now, you see a bit of a split here in terms of the action. Everyone kind of separated nicely. But VRL Keiran remains on top, untouched. Stick with CB46 for the time being as well. Looking to break into the podium. The Aston Martin will be massive points in the Team Constructors race as well. Mediums won't take him all the way. 11 laps. I think it could. You see, I mean, Blazer Guns isn't a good example, but you can stay out there on 11 lap olds. You can. The grip versus reward is best for hards. I mean, listen. I think if you're a talented enough driver, you can make 13 lap old ones work. That's terrible. That is awful for Louis Welch, and I think that is Louis Welch's night done. He won't retire. He's too mentally tough for that. But now you're talking about Louis Welch not just having a 3-second penalty, but a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Louis Welch will not win in Spain here tonight. VRL Keiran has got to be fist pumping in the cockpit of his car right now, saying, champions coming. We're going to be there. He's never won a VFL championship before. He is now a good finish here tonight, a bad Chizzy finish here tonight, and a solid Monaco performance away from having his first. So there you go. Oh, Louis, what a knobhead, says Kemniel. It's a poor one. It's a poor one. Like I said, you talk about Mr. Perfect. You talk about, you know, a guy that doesn't make mistakes often in Louis Welch. And, well, that's a huge mistake that may well just have cost him here tonight. Hey, fair play, by the way, to Bench Warmer. He's got 10 laps to go on these hards, but second place at the minute. And the Aston Martin going to really, really be putting the gap between them and the Red Bulls here tonight. Again, a reminder to you, as you quickly look at this, I can tell you this from the screenshots here. Before this evening, the Red Bull had a 17-point lead in the team standings. So that is about to be obliterated if it stays like this. Absolutely. Keiran finally stopped losing his head. Good for him. Well, last week he retired, but that's the first one, I think, of the season. I think he smells, finally, Craig, that, you know, a championship is on the horizon if he just keeps his calm. And it is working for him brilliantly. Benchwarmer and Dom Parry. Again, the Kick Sauber not out of the Team Constructors race either. Again, they are on the outside looking in, but a strong finish here tonight, including a second and third place finalisation, would do wonders for them going into Monaco. I'll make these things last to the checkered flag. Words that will never ever ring true, no matter how much you could have a magical genie lamp in your room and get 3 wishes, and even they, the mystical creatures that pop out of that genie bottle, would tell you that you are smoking crack cocaine. There is no way on softs that are punctured you are going to last another 9 laps. They are going to implode. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's happening. It's not a spoiler. It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. It's one of those, man. Did Louis serve his pen in the pits? There you go. The answer is no. Still 13 seconds there as Benchwarmer. That's a poor one from the Sauber to take so deep into the race. About 75% of the way through. He's just taken a 3-second penalty. Ultimately, though, it depends now on whether or not Tiller or even Ryan Parker can close that gap. The 3-second penalty may not even mean too much due to the big gap that we are starting to see. You can see here again, VRL Keiran, he's playing smooth jazz in his ears here, boys. There is absolutely nothing to worry about. Look at that, just clean air behind him. Nice Sunday stroll. As Benchwarmer here come around the bend, 13 seconds behind on a 3-second penalty. Tiller there with, again, a couple of cars behind him. Dom Parry looking to try and take this one. Of course, Tiller with that 3-second penalty. It does mean that right now you will be seeing a 1-2-3 of Aston Martin, Kick Sauber. Tiller just got to try and keep that distance between them growing. Ryan Parker as well. Again, you know what? It was a shout from Sergio last week for Ryan Parker being driver of the day. I think Ryan Parker's going to get my vote for driver of the day if he finishes strongly here tonight again. 5th place, 8 laps to go. This is probably one of the best performances Ryan Parker has had in a VFL F1 session. Especially back-to-back performances this week and last week. He looked good. Louis Welch, of course, nursing that 13-second time penalty. Not a good day for the Williams man there. His first full race since he became a full-time driver for the Williams, and maybe he's cursed because of it. Chizzy here in 9th position. What has happened to our once great champion? So many titles under his belts, but as of now, 9th position for Chizzy. And that would probably mean that you would need Keiran to have a head loss moment in Monaco next week, and basically DNF if there is a way for Chizzy to win this championship. Tism there, just behind him, Michael, Shadow's Gunner. Again, the track now, the grid now is starting to space out. That is just a normal thing. It's a natural thing to happen when the race has been going on for so long. But there is still battles taking place up here. A bit of a train from 7th up to 3rd. But even Jamsy's kind of on the outside looking in. So we'll stick with Louis Welch for now. Got a good view of him here. You see he's looking to try and take over Dom Parry. Again, that third, and another 3-second penalty for Louis. He's being too aggressive, isn't he? He's being just a bit too aggressive, and that is coming back to bite him. 16 seconds. It's a record now for Louis Welch. He has never taken 16 seconds of penalties in a VFL race before. So even the greatest of all time, some could argue, can have an off night. And it's like I said back in qualifying, man. It's the heat. It's the stickiness of today in real life, how warm it's been in the UK. These top drivers that require so much focus, so much concentration, they can make mistakes. And I think that's exactly what's happened here for Louis Welch this evening. Dom Parry looking like he's going to be one of the big winners, though. And the Kick Sauber in general look really strong today. You have to say big props to Benchwarmer, who has been consistent, and huge props to Dom Parry, who in lap 2 fell all the way to 19th after an incident with those softs and has now recovered himself into a position where, because of Tiller's time penalty, he's probably going to get a podium. Really strong performance from him tonight. But again, this whole top 10 has been phenomenal, even all the way down to CB46. Some battles he's been having tonight. 8th position, Chizzy in 9th, Michael in 10th, potentially chasing down points, but Shadow's will have something to say about that due to his cleanliness. No penalties so far for the Ferrari. Ryan Parker talking of penalties and all of the hype. I've just given him first 3-second pen of the evening for him. So Jamsey going to be feeling very happy about that one. For now, though, we'll stick with Dom Parry. A pit here from Benchwarmer. So that could change things up a little bit more in the team standings as well. 13 lap old hards. Does he go on to softs for 5 final laps? We saw people do it at the beginning of the race. I wonder if he's got the balls to do it. No. He's gone on to 14 lap old mediums. That is a mistake. That is a huge mistake. He has clearly misclicked something there. He's on 14 lap old mediums. He's went on from 11 lap old hards or whatever it was to 14 lap old mediums, and he now has completely sunk himself. The Kick Sauber with a huge error in the pits, in my opinion. Do the mediums last 19 laps? I don't think so. I don't think so. He's going to have to really just kind of get this one slowly over the line and just take whatever points present themselves. Reverse 19 there, I believe, retiring in the pits. So our first retirement of the evening. And fair play to everyone here. 28 laps in and only one retirement. Hell of a night of racing this evening. And oh, there's Louis Welch fucking beep beep coming through, but of course doesn't mean anything. 16-second time penalty there for Jamsey. It's all about now just keeping tight, sticking to the plan here and getting the Red Bull over the line once more. Remember that Aston Martin and Red Bull team constructor race, team standings, going to be going all the way until the end of Monaco in race week 8 next week. Takes over from Louis Welch here. Tiller, maybe they're a little bit too far away from him as he just takes over Dom Parry. Can Dom Parry last another 4 laps? I think as well is a big question. 22 lap old hards. I've said this before, Craig. Well, you know, we disagreed, but the big drivers can make big things happen. Right now, Dom Parry will need to have a big 4 laps. He is capable of doing it, though. He's not won a championship before for no reason. The guy is elite. Such a top racer on his day. Dirty Hippo there joining the penalty. In the end, listen, it took a while, but my prediction came true. The amount of penalties here tonight absolutely started to hit the fan. 3 for Tiller, 16 for Louis, 3 for Ryan Parker, 3 for Benchwarmer, 3 for Michael, 3 for HDinho, 3 for Hippo, 6 for Tism, 9 for Blazer Guns, 3 for Bailey, and 3 for Surtees. So there you have it. Won't finish last of the cars that started winning my book. There you go. Is Surtees on 23 lap old softer? Is that a bug? No, he is. And look at the state of his front left wheel here, Liam. Of course, he's ghosting at the minute, so we can't see. But when you look at the front left wheel, the Gaza strip is in better condition. That's all I'm going to say to you. Yeah. There you go. Just have a look at this. When he slows down in particular, look at the grain, look at the dirt, look at the tracks on that front left. I'll even hide this for you. There you go. Look at that. You can just see it. The softs, that is in absolutely terrible condition. It's so grainy. The front left of the softs. And he told us as well that the back left has been gone for some time. Absolutely. My credit score is in better condition than that. He's fucked. There you go. How have they not exploded, Liam? That is the ultimate question. I think his pit crew have got to have a raise. Clearly, steroid-induced tyres over there with Surtees and his team Red Bull Racing tonight. But for now, again, 3 laps to go. We are nearing the conclusion of our Spain Grand Prix here tonight in the sweltering heat of the United Kingdom in real life, in the sweltering virtual heat of Spain. And right now, VRL Keiran is not going to be caught, and VRL Keiran is pretty much going to put a hand and a half on this Drivers' Championship. Only 1 race week to go in Monaco next week. He started off tonight 9 points better than Chizzy. Chizzy right now is in 8th position. Got a feel for Welch, had default setup and joined last second, and now 16-second pens. Hey, listen, man, you know, I feel for him, but I don't feel for him. When you got FIFA to play and that's what you want to do, then sometimes you're going to have to affirm the fact it's not going to be the greatest of nights for you. He pre-filled his tyres with super glue. As it opens, it gets glued back together. I mean, honestly, he's probably got a staple gun in his pocket. He's steering with one hand and he's stapling his fucking tyres together with the other, isn't he? That's exactly what's happening there, because I don't know how he's going to last on 24 lap odd softs. I really don't. For now, though, you can see not really too many battles going on. Louis Welch is chasing down Jamsey, yes, but again, remember, 16-second time penalty there, so it's not really even a chase. Ryan Parker with a 3-second penalty trying to take down Dom Parry. But it's here that we have our first kind of battle in the final 2 laps. CB46 very much looking to take over Ryan Parker, as man's got Tism there, has retired for this evening. Also, they pulled to the left when I'm not steering right. It's horrible. I mean, you could have pit. You've chosen not to pit. That's basically your fault. CB46 and Dom Parry, very much now the main attraction here, especially considering Louis Welch is going to drop off a ton here. The race for fourth is on, but it would take some sort of miracle for this top three to change. Keiran, Tiller, Jamsey, pretty much going to go over the line. And it's great to see Tiller back in a podium position. It's been such a rough season for Tiller, an inconsistent season. After a brilliant team season last season, we thought it was going to be bigger and better. It's been very mediocre, but tonight, second place finish potentially. He's shown us exactly how good he is on his day. We need more of that next season, and hopefully that update in June, that's going to give the new teams, the new kind of feel to F1. That will maybe invigorate him and inspire him to go out and give us his best performances again. Said sometimes guys get fatigued, man. Too many races, too many seasons. They start to kind of get mentally spent. Maybe that's what's happened to Tiller here this season. Wasn't getting points. Had to leave here with some achievements, says Surty. Well, I tell you, it's an achievement to say the least to have that on for the entire race. So fair props to you. For now, though, one more kind of flick through the grids here, as Shadow's Gunner is going to get points here this evening. I mean, he's got cars with points or time penalties ahead of him. And I think tonight, great to see Tiller saying to Shadow's Gunner, listen, I've been so mediocre this season. Tonight, I'll carry the team. You've carried us so much, Shadows. Tonight, I've got you. It's what a great team does. Shadow's not having his best race, but Tiller picking up the slack and picking up the points to help the situation. Surtees going a McLaren Canadian Grand Prix strategy. Yeah, you're not wrong. If you saw the state of his wheel, Lewis, or his front left tyre, you'd understand how absolutely short to ever-living fuck it is. God bless him, though. He's a character. He absolutely is. For now, heading into the final lap, pretty much, we can sit on board with our current driver's champion leader, VRL Keiran, 9 points ahead of second place Chizzy before the race went live tonight. And it looks like he will have his first ever championship at Monaco next week. It would take a disaster for VRL Keiran to not be the Season 4 champion. But, and it's a big but, we have seen Keiran implode before. All Keiran needs to do next week is finish the race, and I think he'll know that, and I think that's the most ironic thing. How ironic is it that with Keiran's history, all he's got to do next week is finish? Brilliant, isn't it? That's the story of life, full circle. For now, though, Tiller coming in, and that will be absolutely him in second place. Jamsey in third, Louis Welch in fourth for now, but CB is going to leapfrog him. Yes, he does. Dom Parry also leapfrogging him. Look at that. Louis Welch dropping all the way down here below Ryan Parker and Chizzy as well. That is categorically the lowest finish that Louis Welch has ever had, and it comes on the night where he has been told he is the now full-time Williams driver. Shadow's Gunner in the end takes points home in 9th, and as does the McLaren. Michael does a great job there, getting 10th position for his team. HDinho, Benchwarmer, Hippo, Bailey, Ghosted, Blazer Guns, Surty, Man's got Tism and Reverse, all sadly not able to get points tonight, but fair credit to them. They started strong and they finished strong. No implosions, no head-on collisions with a wall tonight. You have to give props to everyone. And again, a big thank you tonight, fellas, in the extreme heat here in the UK, to be on time, to give us a great race that we saw. Phenomenal. We got the best league out there with the best runners. Props to Michael, props to you guys, and really excited to see Monaco next week, but also really excited to see what that update in a couple of weeks does for F1, and see how it kind of changes your approach to some of these races. There you go. CB46, come on, get in, pitting for mediums paid off. Hey, listen, you did a fantastic race, CB. Go back and watch the VOD. We kind of covered your kind of little battle back and forth. I think it was between you and Dirty Hippo in those earlier laps. But yeah, phenomenal, man. Like I said, you're one of the prospects of the season, and a strong finish tonight. But the story, like I said, is about VRL Keiran again, wins this race, and is now 99.9% over the line for a first ever VFL GP1 Championship. He will be buzzing, and we've said it before, and we knew it would be the case. We always said, once this guy gets his mentals correct, once he just doesn't explode when he has a bad lap, a bad turn, a bad race, he will be one of the unstoppable names. And this season, Season 4, he is proving that. Congratulations to him again tonight. And remember, next week, final race week of the season, we are in the tight and difficult track that is Monaco. There's a recap again of the leaderboard tonight. Keiran finishing in first position, and ultimately it went down to Michael for points. Props to Michael as well. Difficult week last week for the McLaren. Bounced back brilliantly. Again, fellas, make sure any race incidents you submit to Michael, that thread will be open as soon as we get off stream here. And again, a big thank you, I can't keep saying it enough, to all the drivers tonight, to all the viewers tonight. The fact that we're sitting here with 40 people watching an F1 race in May is phenomenal. Just shows how much of a goddamn excellent job Michael's doing, and how much of an excellent job you guys are doing as drivers. Like I said, there are some leagues out there that have already given up until the pack comes out, until the new update or download comes out. They can't even get 4 or 5 drivers in for a race week. So hey, we continue to be the very best of the best, and that's down to you, the absolute studs behind the wheel. Fellas, thank you so much for having me. Drink fluid, get a fan, do all the above, and we'll see you next week for the ultimate finale. Will VRL Keiran finally have a championship, or will old habits die hard? Will he crash and burn and lose it all in one final swoop? Only time will tell. Take care, take it easy. Thank you for the follows and the subs. Good night, farewell, see you when I see you. We're done. I can't click the end stream button. I'm clicking it and nothing's happening. Maybe my Streamlabs is having a stroke. I'm going to have to Control Alt and Delete. This is awkward. This is like when you click the elevator button for floor 7 and it just goes right past. I don't know what to do here. But yeah, thank you again and good night.